Hello, Cubs fans, and welcome to a brand new edition of Cubs on Tap. Unfortunately, we're talking about another loss, but I am Luce. He is Juice. I got it right this time. And we're back. 6-2 loss to the Angels. Juice, buddy, baseball aside, how are you doing tonight on this hump day for at least not for you anymore. It is technically Thursday for you. It is still Wednesday for me. But how are you doing, buddy?
What did we just watch? Just trying to figure that out. It's the Jim Halpert. I just wanted to stop. Tour. I'm just at this point. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
I feel like I can tell what's going to happen in a baseball game before it even happens. I was talking with Prez on the phone before he gave you a call. Pretty much told him this game's about to get bad. Right when I said that, bases clearing double. All she wrote, because our offense scores about as much as me at prom.
Hey,
so if every night they're gonna play this way, I'm just gonna say, who the fuck cares anymore? Who the fuck cares? And I'm gonna start shifting gears. And I told you this while we were in pre-show.
Yes,
it's the tank for Jock now. It all tanks up. We're going to Blackhawks, Connor Bedard. We're going with Jack Caglione. 2 years from now, it'll be one hell of a come up when they get the 99 flamethrower left-hander / first base DH 40 home run video game player. Because we can't have nice things. Because why would Shohei Ohtani want to play here? Why would anybody else want to play here? Why would Ricketts spend money if this team right now is showing them that they're so far away that they should just find a way to gain more and more prospects? Let's just go full Pirates here at this point. Let's just trade it all. I was going to load the system, go for like 7 back-to-back South Bend Cubs championships. And, I'm at the point where I just watch a big league club and I'm like, who gives a fuck anymore? Sorry, this is explicit at this point, but this is 3 straight games of West Coast baseball and bad West Coast baseball, and it's 12:30 and I have to be up at 6 a.m. for work. So yeah, Cubs, I spent my sleep time watching that bullshit. I spent my free time. I have my beautiful girlfriend in the living room right now. You know what she's doing? She's reading a book. You know why she's reading a book? Because she's smart. She knows how this shit goes down. I'm the sick one who's sitting on every pitch. Why the fuck should I? Why should I care? I'm at the point where I just want to ask the Cubs. If I had one question for them right now, I'd go into the locker room and I'd go, why the fuck should I care? Every night you lose the same way. You don't hit. The bullpen comes in. You either are tied or you have a slim lead, and you give it right back. So it'd be like if I were on a desert island and I could only watch one movie over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And like the movie was one of like the top 10 worst on Rotten Tomatoes. This is exactly what this is. This is where I'm at. And so instead of taking up the whole podcast and just complaining about the Cubs, I'm going to say that Cade Horton is good at baseball. And for some reason, Nick Madrigal may win a batting title in AAA. And I hope that happens for him because he's had a really rough time in his life, and he deserves to have some awards. Ronald, your turn.
I don't know how to follow that up. No, I get that, Juice. I think a lot of Cubs fans are down bad. Like I think that's really the feeling, right? We stay up late, we watch these games just for them to lose, like you said, in the same fashion every single time. The offense can't score runs. When they do have a lead or it's tied, the bullpen shits the game away. And in fairness, tonight's game, right? Ultimately, the loss is charged to Tyone, but Leiter Jr. comes in and didn't have it tonight. And that was a big part of it. They brought him in a high leverage situation, hoping he could get them out of it, and he didn't. And this bullpen continues to be a glaring weakness of this ball club. The offense continues to be a glaring weakness. And I know we've discussed ad nauseum about guys like Bellinger and this, that, and the other, and that's great. And it's nice having guys that are hitting when they are hitting, but the overall construction of this team pretty much since May, I don't know, 5th, 6th, has been they can't late more than 3 runs on a nightly basis. And it's unfortunate because they gave us false hope in April. They really did. This was a, what, 4, 5 games at one point above 500 ball club. And ever since then, they've been pedestrianly average at best. At best. The bullpen can't get it done. The starters outside of, Stroman and Steele are, Smiley's been good, but he still has his rough days. But Tyone has not lived up to 17 million per year. And you know what? You know what's crazy? Tonight was probably one of Tyone's better starts as a Cub. And he went 5 1/3. He gave up 5 hits, 4 earned with 4 walks and 5 Ks and 2 bombs. That's bad. That's fucking bad. Your $17 million a year starter gave up 2 bombs and 5 1/3 with 4 earned with 4 walks and 5 Ks, and that's good for him. Holy fuck, that's not
Hey,
great.
Ron, leave Edwin Jackson out of this. That's who he is. That's who he is. That's who he's going to be. That's going to go down as a terrible contract.
And it's a shame. It's a real shame.
It is. I have no faith when he takes the ball.
He has shown in his career that he can be a good pitcher. I don't know what the fuck happened this year. I really don't. Like, I don't know if it's like some weird, like, voodoo curse that exists on the grounds of Wrigley that, like, unless you're a left-handed starting pitcher, like, if you come in as a righty as a big free agent signing, you're gonna fucking suck in year one. Darvish, it happened to Darvish.
Yeah.
He got hurt. He was bad. Then he came back and he rebounded. I hope Tyone does the same thing because if you look at it, of all the big major free agent signings this team has had over the course of the last decade, John Lester's the only one that came in and like was as advertised for what they paid him. Truthfully, right? Like, and it's just infuriating because again, they were in this game tonight. That's why it's infuriating. They were in this game. The first 6 innings of this game, it was like, oh shit, okay, they got a shot. They got a shot to win this. They produced 3 hits, Juice. 3 fucking hits the entire goddamn night. They walked more than they got hits. They walked more on base than they got hits. They were still in this game through 6 innings. And then all of a sudden, just like deja vu, just like Thanos, just like whatever the fuck you want to call it, the inevitability of them pissing away a lead happened. It happened. It absolutely happened. Moniak clears the fucking bases, and that was all she wrote. That was all she wrote. From that point, Moniak clears the bases. The former number 1 overall pick of the Phillies. He's not even with his old fucking team anymore, but he still finds a way to just stick it up the Cubs' ass and says, "This game's over. Flowers, deuces, sayonara, salud, whatever the fuck you want to call it." And that's how they lose. And I to your point, Juice, that is what makes this so infuriating as we sit here and we watch this team. And again, they give you just a little bit of promise. And you're like, wow, things could be different tonight. Because you and I sat here how many nights ago and talked about, all right, they split with the Padres. Great. You got to win 2 out of 3 in the next 2 series to make this road trip worth the shit. to really define how the rest of your ultimately potentially season's going to go, because you have to start deciding if you're going to buy or sell come the end of June. And right now, is this team going to sell? Because I'll tell you what, I told you this on Monday night, and I'm going to say it again. If they trade Marcus Stroman, you're not going to see me on another Cubs on Tap after the fucking deadline. Because I'll just sit here and I'll cuss out the Ricketts, and I'll cuss out Jed, and I'll cuss out Carter Hawkins the entire show. Because this team has pieces in place to compete.
But Ron, if they won't give a shit, they won't care. They won't care that you're taking the hiatus from this show. They won't care that they traded away a guy and they're further away from competing. They just won't. Because what shows you what makes you think that there's repercussions for bad performance within this franchise right now?
Fair.
It's the same shit for the last month and a half, and they haven't changed anything. Like, I mean, get on the pile of scrap heap arms at this point and just try somebody other than the same, I don't know, 10 that they've paraded out there. Oh, it clearly doesn't work. No matter what order you put them in, no matter, and this goes to the offense too. Like, I'm tired. I'm done with Ian Happ in the 3-hole for the time being. And we need a wacky lineup day. Like, try something different, be creative. But the fear I start to have is, and I'm the last one to sit and throw, shit on the manager. But does Ross know how to adjust? Like, does Ross even have a clue on what he should be doing? Are they collaborating together and having this conversation of lineups that they can have?
Do not say that word collaboration as a Chicago sports fan, Juice. You're
No,
gonna get PTSD.
And I know, but this is the feeling. This is where we're at. We can sit and we could sunshine and rainbows this show if we want to, but let's be honest. Let's have a conversation here about real things in Cubs baseball. Because to me, and jump in the comments if you're listening, this is more of a problem than just the 26 active men on the roster right now. There is a bigger root problem than just what's inside that clubhouse right now. Because you don't go into this season with too few options and expect to compete. The flip side of this, maybe they lied to us. Maybe they said they could be competitive, but they realistically knew they couldn't be competitive. And that's a problem, because you shouldn't be lying to your fan base regarding if you think you can compete or not. And if April showed us anything, shows us that when they play their brand of baseball, they can do it. They can compete.
Yeah.
A lot of things have to go right for them, but I'm at the point where until we try something different, why should we care? Every night, the product has been the same. It's the same loss. It's the same problems. It's the same guys coming out of the bullpen. Mm-hmm. So change it up. It isn't working. And I don't want to sound the alarm on front office, on ownership, but it's to a point where it's impossible for somebody like me, who, Ron, you've known me and you've done these shows with me a long time. I am the last one who jumps down GMs or ownership. I think that the players play, and the only thing that the ownership can do is help you, put you in the best, scenario to succeed. And focusing on player development. That's what they can do. They can bring in the guys to coach up the guys who are already here. But this is deeper because guys are getting worse. There are I want 10 minutes in that clubhouse. I do. I want to sit 10 minutes in there, and within 10 minutes, both me and you could figure out A, what this year is really all about, B, if the manager is any good, and C, do these guys care? Do they like each other? Do they play for each other? Because there are nights like tonight where it seems like one thing goes wrong and then it's all over from there, right? Like it is, and that's not Cub baseball. It's not. What we've watched is not Chicago Cubs baseball. They fight and they play the game all the way to the end with the utmost effort. But I'm going to tell you right now, the at-bats that happened after the bases clearing double were horrific. They were zombie-like, half dead. I'm pissed. I haven't been, and you know what? You know why I'm pissed? Because I've given enough time to this team to figure it out. I've been up to here at this point. I'm just over it. And I'm at the point where I'm like, who the fuck cares? Because they play like they don't give a shit.
Yeah. It has been. It's been really bad. And you know what, Juice? I look at this team's lineup after tonight's game. There is one player on this roster that has over an 800 OPS. And that's Miguel Amaya. And I don't even think that's entirely fair because he hasn't played that many games. They legitimately are struggling. The best players on this team by OPS right now are Ian Happ and Seiya Suzuki at a 791 and a 780. And mind you, Seiya only, a couple of weeks ago was at like an 860 OPS? Like he's come back down, crashing back to earth in the last, 2-3 series now. This team, you know what's really crazy, Juice? The best average on the team right now is Mike Tauchman.
Yeah.
At 295. Honestly, and you know what? I'm not mad at Mike Tauchman because this is a guy that coming into the season was a AAA depth player, and he has done everything he physically can to replace a guy like Cody Bellinger in center field. He's done a nice job, and he's been hitting in that 5-6 hole a lot. He's delivered. He had a hit tonight. That was great. Had a run scored, a walk too. Probably their best player tonight, truthfully. But when it's Tauchman, Mancini, and Amaya are the three players that get hits in your lineup, that's bad. That's not great, Bob. That's not ideal at all. And you know what? I'm starting to get to the point here, Juice, where you start wondering what the season's about. Send Matt Mervis back down to AAA. Let him get every day at bats. Homeboy has a 1.76 ERA and a 5.31 OPS. Let him go figure it out. Let him go work on shit. Let him get 3-4 at bats in every single day. Because what is he doing to help your ball club on the bench when you play Trey fucking Mancini at first base every other goddamn day? It doesn't fucking matter at this point. Like you said, they don't give a rat's ass. And like the name of the episode, what's going on? What is this Cubs team? They went from having a good April to, you have a bad May. That's fine. Then you tell yourself, we're going to pick it up in June. And I'll tell you what, through Sunday, I was convinced they were turning it around in June. 2 really good games in that San Diego series. You had the one bad game, and Darvish always pitches good against the Cubs, so it is what it is, what it is, what it is. But they come out flat on Monday and look like dog shit. They come out last night and look like dog shit. And then they come out tonight. And what do, Juice? They look like dog shit. This team needs to figure it the fuck out. Is this a growing year, quote unquote? Is this just another year that you're waiting for some of your prospects to come up and fill meaningful holes? What is this? Nobody the fuck knows.
And don't piss on me and tell me it's fucking raining.
Facts. Facts, Juice. I just used that on Prez earlier, actually. As a matter of fact, I used that exact same expression because, yes, don't do that to us.
We were at CubsCon and everything was, oh, look, brand new Dansby Swanson, Jamison Tyone. Look at us, Cody Bellinger. Nah, man. Nah. And then you got to play games.
Then you got to go play baseball and do your real job.
Yeah. So I like to think, and this is, I feel like I'm ranting every time I talk here.
That's okay.
But I feel like sports in general, baseball in particular, is a relationship. You put the time into it, you invest money into it, you nurture it, you just carve out time for it. Like, we all have busy days, and we probably have a million other things that we would rather be doing at 12:46 tonight. But there's 5 people listening in our show right now because they care. I applaud every one of you for listening to the show and coming in and sharing your frustrations with us. But it's moments like these that your team takes some much gained trust away from that relationship. It's these moments when you look back and you say, well, they told me this and now they do this. It's like that favorite, the title for this next episode should be "My Baseball Team Lied to Me." It should be, because honestly, that's where we're at, man. My baseball team lied to me, and I feel like I'm not being told the truth, the full truth every day. I feel like there are people within this front office who have hidden behind the curtain as this has been bad. Haven't been out enough to say this is what we're doing wrong and this is how we're trying to fix it. And that is a breach of the Cub Juice relationship that I have built with this team. And it's something that I sit here and I have this frustration, and I'm sure they do too. All these guys, they're not trying to lose every night. This is just not what they're competitive people. But where you draw a line is the lack of diversion when something doesn't go right. Like, this is exactly what worries me, because this is what worried me post 2016, because it was the same loss and the same story with the lineup, with the pitching, with the development, with the bullpen over and over and over again. It was the same song and dance until Theo Epstein exited stage right and was left with this heaping pile of this doesn't work. And we're still stuck in this pile of what works. They've added some very nice pieces. I like Dansby Swanson. I think he's a good player. I like what they've gotten out of Cody Bellinger. I like Seiya Suzuki. But you need more of that. And you didn't try to go get more than that. But then you went to CubCon and we all sat there and they said, we can compete. Don't piss on me and tell me it's raining. And that's exactly where we're at. I want to hear Jed Hoyer come to the mic soon and say what's going on, what they're trying to do to fix it. I want the manager to make different moves, different decisions. I want him to have the flexibility to do that as well with the front office, because I think that as we stand right now, he doesn't really have it. He's been given the same broken parts to, make the bicycle move. And it's clear it's not going to work. So I think the men behind the curtain got to step out and take a little bit of the brunt for the problem here, because there is some serious lineup construction issue that isn't solvable for what's on the roster, and there's a glaring problem with the bullpen. This is the other part. Tommy Hotovy too is another guy that needs to step out from behind the curtain and say what they're doing with this bullpen to fix it, because this bullpen's too damn talented to every night go out there and throw the same bullshit up there night after night. Like, I mean, there are some legit pieces within this bullpen that have talent. And I don't know if it's mechanics or structure or, what they're throwing pitch-wise or sequencing, but whatever is going on, it's not working. So starting tomorrow, because if I'm going to lose my fucking mind if I have any chance to watch tomorrow's game and I see the same shit like that I saw tonight, the night before that, and pretty much all May. Because I'm at the point, do something different. Like, lose my title for today's episode and my hope for the next, we're going to preview Thursday's game, is lose differently tomorrow. Figure out a way, if you're going to lose differently, because at least it would be a step in the right direction.
You're right. You're 100% right, Juice. And Go Cubs Go 2023 says Sellers for the third straight season, and then follows that up with any chance Ross is on the hot seat. I don't know if Ross is on the hot seat. And to kind of follow up your argument, Juice, right? Like, Jed has already come out and given a little bit of kudos in the sense of it's not Ross's problem with the bullpen, it's mine. And that we didn't do a good enough job in the front office of giving him the right pieces. So I think we're at a point right now where I don't think we can entirely judge Ross properly, because I do think this front office has failed this team a little bit. I think they thought they were going to get a lot better outcome out of what they put together at CubsCon, when we sat there and we ate it up and we said this team was going to compete and be a legitimate, at least NL Central contender. It's different now. We're starting to see everything come to fruition. And I think they may have overhyped some guys that were probably not as ready. I think Mervis is one of them. I think Morel might be one of them too, truthfully. I think we're starting to see, they do rely on a certain set of players. They rely on a guy like Bellinger being in the lineup, because that helps a Seiya Suzuki, that helps a Dansby Swanson, that helps a Nico Horner, that helps an Ian Happ. And then on top of that, this bullpen is, on paper, not atrocious, but in principle is fucking horrendous. And something needs to happen to fix that. So I'm right there with you, Juice. Buddy, I want to know, do you have any final thoughts on this game? Because I want to put it behind us, because this was it was a frustrating loss, because like you said, again, they lose in the same fucking manner that they have every single time over the last, really, it feels like 2 weeks now. Do you have any final thoughts for us before we look ahead to tomorrow?
My only final thought for tonight's game was there was a graphic that came up that showed the bullpen, their ERA, and a lot of that stuff. And they are 29th. I was shocked that there are, 3 other teams that are worse. I mean, I can't believe that.
Are there 32 teams in MLB or 30?
Are there 30?
I think there's 30.
Yeah, it could be 30. All right, well, then I can't believe there's one team that's even worse. Either way.
It might be the A's, too, of all teams.
I would bet their bullpen may be better.
Maybe.
At this point.
Maybe.
Maybe I've just watched this much bad.
Maybe.
When Cub baseball starts to go more solid, I should just think, at least I'm not an Oakland fan, and I'm not watching that shit. But then again, if I were an Oakland fan, I'm probably not watching it, right? You're just...
They're going to the beach every day and just forgetting about baseball.
And my Oakland version of CubCon probably the president didn't come up and probably say, yeah, we can compete with this.
He said, yeah, we're going to win 12 games through the month of June. And
yeah, this is
just, I'll be at the beach. I'll see you later. Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree. Juice, unfortunately, buddy, we got to do this one more time with the Angels on Thursday, June 8th. It's another terrible time. 8:38 Chicago time start, 9:38 for you from Angels Stadium in Anaheim, California. LA Angels, my ass. You're still the Anaheim Angels of California to me. It's battle of the lefties, Juice. I was gonna try to say, oh, they're on this station or whatever. Everybody knows where the fuck to find them at this point. Drew Smiley's on the mound for the Cubbies. 5-3, 3.56 ERA, and then it's Reed Detmers on the bump for the Halos. He's 0-5 with a 5.15 ERA. You know what that screams to me, Juice? He's going to throw a 7-inning fucking gem tomorrow, because that is just how it goes with bad pitchers against the Cubs this season. Juice, I want to hear your thoughts, though. Can the Cubs salvage a win in this series against the Halos?
No, lose different tomorrow.
Just lose different, straight up. Just lose different tomorrow.
I'm just saying. I hope so. I hope that my explosion. I apologize to the show too for my frustration, because they don't deserve all of that fire I just threw at them. But I don't know, man. I'm desperate for a turnaround, right? I mean, we've gone through so much shit here. I would love for tomorrow to be just a different story, and I hope it means that, then they go in against San Francisco and sweep San Francisco. I mean, who knows? Baseball's weird, but right. I don't know. Up to this moment, what gives us any hope that we're going to see a good performance from these guys tomorrow? We just don't have the faith right now. They don't have that look, Remember in the beginning of April, they had that look, like they're playing fun, loose. Like, it just seems like they're all playing just so tight. Like they're just waiting, like we are, for the shoe to drop.
Yeah, they're all tied up and wrapped up.
But that's on your manager, right? It's on your manager to help with that mentality, to push them through the tough times, to not bring yesterday's game or the days before's game into the game you're currently playing. But it shows, man. It seems like they're waiting for the shoe to drop, and it'll change. Some luck will change, but they're very flawed. And I think for the rest of the year, we're just going to watch a lot of very flawed lineup play, bullpen play. It's just going to be a mishmash of just different of the same ways to lose. Does that make sense?
It does. And Juice, I'm going to give the mic back to you really quick as well here in a hot second. My final thought and my preview thought are all the same. So I want to give you the opportunity, my friend, for any additional final thoughts from you before we start to wind this thing down and hopefully look ahead to a better day tomorrow.
I'm good.
You're content.
I've displayed my displeasure enough. What more can I say?
Hey, you never know what you can find. A couple comments from the comment section, though, before I share some thoughts here. Hank Rodriguez says, Tyone has pitched 10 games. Cubs lost 9 of them. 6 of those, he's giving up 4 or more runs. I follow that up with says he just isn't giving us a chance to win most games. Agreed. I think, again, I think that's something we shared our displeasure with earlier in the show, is just how things have gone with the big $17 million a year man. And Juice, I'm going to kind of follow up on what you said, right? I'm going to take a page out of the book of our friends over at Sox on Tap. I'm going to throw it way back. None of us probably here that are listening to the show, maybe a couple of us, but at least you and I, sir, were not alive when this actually meant something. The 1983 White Sox kind of went on a dream run And they did something that was called winning ugly. And that's what I want the Cubs to do tomorrow. Win ugly. Do something stupid. Win a 2-1 game. Get one of your runs because of a wild pitch. Steal some bags. Just do some ugly shit. At this point, I don't give a fuck how you win. Just win. And they need that going into the San Francisco series. Truthfully, at this point, salvage a win, avoid a sweep, reset, go into San Francisco. Hopefully, you win 2 out of 3. You at least go home and say, all right, did we botch the road trip a little bit? Yes. But at least you have the Pirates at home. And then you've got a couple more home games. You have a lot of home games the rest of the way in June, besides this trip to London to go see our friends over at UK Cubs for 2 games against the shitbag Cardinals. Take advantage of being at Wrigley. Just get out of this road trip with a decent outcome from here on out. And it all starts tomorrow. Win ugly, do something crazy, do something stupid, and win a ball game. That's my final thought. That's my preview. That's all of the above. Yeah, just keep it simple. Win ugly. Fuck it. Nobody asks how. They ask how many.
It's 100% true, Ron. And you know what? I would be thrilled if they stupidly won tomorrow.
Yes.
And I'd be sucked back in, just probably like everybody else.
Be like, yes, this is awesome.
Yeah,
they got a stupid bullshit run here and a stupid bullshit run there.
And then I'd start saying, all they need to do is sweep the next 3 over the weekend, right into the off day, and they'll be well rested for a very important 6-game homestand against the Pirates and the Orioles. And then they could carry all that momentum into that trip into London. And, man, June seems fixed at that point. Yeah, but that's probably not going to happen.
I agree, buddy, but I'm right there with you, sir. Just it is what it is right now at this point. Hopefully they get a win tomorrow and we can at least mentally all reset together and we'll go from there and we'll see what happens. But Juice, before we get out of here, buddy, I want to remind everybody Cubs on Tap, one of 2 official Cubs podcasts of the On Tap Sports Network. Check out our friends over at the Dingers Podcast. Follow them at Dinger Cubs on Twitter and Instagram. They do a great job. They were live on Monday. They'll be live next Monday as well. Be sure to be following all of the boys as they cover the Chicago Cubs this season. Be sure to follow us as well at Cubbies on Tap, CUBBIES on Twitter and Instagram. I am Luce on Tap. Juice is Juice on Tap. Teddy Freddy 270. Joey knows nothing. Nick _ on tap and at Bulls Game. Rob, follow all of us here contributing to Cubs on Tap. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks. You know the drill. We got it all. Bears on Tap was live earlier. If you're a big Bears fan, go check that out as well. We had a good interview with Mr. Jonathan Wood from the Da Bears blog, talking about the state of the Bears in this off season. And good things coming up for the Blackhawks. First overall pick. Andreas Athanasiou back for another 2 years. We get to watch the Prez Juice struggle with his last name for at least 2 more seasons. If nothing else, that makes me super fucking happy watching him.
Worth every penny, right?
Worth every penny of that $4.25 million per year is watching Tony on Tap just fucking struggle to pronounce Athanasiou on a regular basis. But be sure to be following along with all of our sports teams. And if you have friends that like the White Sox, send our friends that like the White Sox over at Sox on Tap, as they do a great job covering the boys at 35th in Shields. Once again, On Tap Sportsnet, ontapsportsnet.com, at On Tap Sportsnet on Twitter and Instagram. The On Tap Sports Network. Go and check out what's on tap in Chicago sports. Juice. Unfortunately, a terrible fucking outcome. A shitty Cubs loss, but always a pleasure sharing the mic with you, my friend. What do you say, buddy? We got out of here the only way we know how at Cubs on Tap.
We're going to change this up, Ron, because they are losing every time we do this. So fuck baseball.
I thought you were going to say fuck the Cubs, and I
wasn't.
I was okay with it because I would have just followed up with I agree with you, and always, as always, fuck the Cardinals. And just so subtly, let's go Cubbies.